Hello guys, I didn't see you there. I always wanted to say it on camera, really. Uh, Cold day here in South Carolina, but hell, it's like one of the first days we've had in literally weeks that it ain't been raining. So I figured I'd come here and do a little video going more in depth on these Taramps. The MDs, that's the only ones I really like. The HDs just sucked. And the base, well, let's just say a base 15K is weaker than an MD 12K because they rate the base series, I think, don't quote me 100% on this, but I know the base series don't make rated power until you're up like to 14.2, 14.4. And the old MD, I think they're rated to make power at 12.9. That's why I'm doing this video, guys. Talk about the voltage. In my wife's car, on one MD 8K, wired down to 0.4. Don't go under 1 ohm if you don't have a lot of lithium power and know what you're doing. Check impedance with a something like a term lab is what I used, and I burped tons of different frequencies to know where my impedance rise is at, okay? That's first and foremost, to know your impedance. But I'm not here to talk about that. My other video talks about that. Today we're talking about that voltage. And it's something I really wanted to touch on because a lot of people new in the car audio game don't understand. And you guys that are bass heads have been doing this for a while. Hell, you probably know more than I do, so just use this for entertainment. You already know this. But new guys, if you don't, I got these good old MD8Ks in here. I got 2 of them. Normally I run 4, but one's in my wife's car because her big amp's getting fixed. And my little homie, Joe the Fisherman, well, we wanted to put an 8K on each 18 in his little Blazer and see what it did. And it really come to life. But anyway, in my wife's car, when she was on stock charging voltage around the 14.2 mark, one of these MD8Ks, when I was, like setting the gain on the amp and everything, use the clip light, but I always like stick a motor meter in there on AC voltage and see what we're doing. So, max I could get out of one of these in the 14.2 volt range, right around 84 volts, I think. Anything higher than 84 volt and the clip light would come on. Remember that number, 84 volts, at 14.2 volts. And the old shit box here, I charge at 16. I normally like to get up around that 16.2 range because one of these 8Ks protects at 16.3. So at 16.2, setting with my digital multimeter on AC voltage, which I just did gain match and I reset them. But anyway, I'm getting 106 volt out of each amp. Clean. We're talking, that's clean. I set it in her car and here with a negative 5 dB test tone, 40 hertz. But I'm getting 106 volt clean. I could probably go a little higher, but these gain knobs on these things suck, dude. It's so hard to get them like that last little bit, But funny story, in the wife's car, one MD8K, I didn't change anything. She was still wired the same, which that don't matter. I unhooked speaker wire, set the gain anyway. But the same amp in her car, same MD8K. I didn't swap to a different one or nothing. The one that was doing around 85 volts. I took her Yinlong lithium out. I put some diodes in the alternator. I got her charging around 16 volts. And I reset the gain on that same exact amp. And going from the Yinlong at 14.2 up to 16 volt in her car. So all I did was put a C-Max bank in it. I reset the gain on her amp and got 106 out of it. So when a lot of people ask me, like on TikTok and other social media platforms, why I charge at 16 volt, that right there is why. I mean, and it ain't just Brazilian amps or the Taramps that works with. Any amp that is 16 volt stable, you're going to get a lot more power out of it by going from 14 to 16 volts. And I just wanted to share with you, you know, how much more power I'm getting. I mean, God, that's 20 volts, guys. I mean, think about it. Right at 20 volts more, going from 14 volt to 16 volt. And out of an 8,000 watt amp, you know, that's almost 20% you're looking at, like a 20% power increase on output. Granted, you never really see that full output because, you know, that's basically a rating at 1 ohm steady, like on test tone or something. But musically, dynamically, you're going to be all over the place. And that 20% still 20%. You're going to see like gains across the board getting that 20% out of there. So that's why if you can do it, it's always good to go up higher in your charge voltage. But really, you're not going to do it with your AGM battery. Do not put diodes in your alternator if you're running an AGM battery, please. You know, make sure you're on lithium or something that's meant to do that. Because in here, you know, I got the big 135 C-Max. I love this thing. It's been the best lithium that I've owned by far. That's why I put it in the wife's car. This new build that I have coming up this spring, you know, God, lithium's getting hard to find right now. Well, C-Max is, and I'm hoping I can like find another 135 bank to build for this new project I have coming. But there definitely is a lot of potential in increasing your charge voltage up to that 16 mark. And I mean, you don't have to, because like Sundown Audio come out with their salt line amplifiers, and I know those things protect, like if you get somewhere in the 15s, don't quote me on the exact number, but I've seen my homie Chris Lee, you know, he tries to get every little bit of power out of there because he's this die-hard bass head, don't give a shit. He wants, you know, he wants to kill you with a demo, and he wants to kill the term lab on numbers. And, you know, I know he always pushes them to the borderline, but I know they don't go much over 15. Back in the day, I tested one of the big Pride Audio 25Ks in here. And it was another one that, man, it does not like high voltage. I mean, like I was charging at 16 and I had to turn like my electric fan on, my heater and everything in the car without it running to drain my voltage down to like 15 volt flat to even get that amp to come out of protect, because as soon as I hooked it up, it saw too much voltage and it protected. So there are a lot of amplifiers out there that are good amplifiers that are just made to do that raw power, you know, under 15 volts. And then most of the amps that we all love, especially these Taramps, they love that 16 volt range. Like I said, I run them at 16.2 because one of these bad boys protects 16.3. So there, even me, I try to get it to that borderline. I don't want to see that thing go under 16 volt. I like to keep it like right there at the max. So I'm always trying to charge right at 16 volt or 16.2 volt. And like I said, every once in a while I'll be driving and I'll see one come in to protect and start flashing. I'll look at my volt gauge and I hit 16.3. So I reach back to the fat boy regulator and try to just like snooze it down a hair to get me right back to that 16.2 mark. But anyway, I hope you learned something from this video, man. If you didn't know this shit, a lot of my friends are die-hard bass heads and they already know this, but hell, use it for entertainment if nothing else. And like I said, I just had to reset all my gains in here. I hadn't reset my gains since the Ruckus show. Like I set them before Ruckus and I haven't touched them since. And I knew they were off because I do have the clip monitors in my dash, and certain songs I would turn up to like under my safe number, and like one of my clip lights would flash every once in a while and the other wouldn't. So I knew that they needed reset. So it wasn't raining today and it was a perfect day to do it. But all right, everybody, man, thank you for watching this shit. If you made it all the way through 9 minutes of it, love you guys. Peace out and bass on.